Hey guys, Terrapup here, and tonight, usually I would be doing something with a small bore computer, showing off my lack of Linux skills and things like that. But tonight I have Zach Underwood, who I've known for a long time, and we're going to talk about the SouthEast Linux Fest that's coming up in June. And first question, Zach, and then we'll get into like the history and stuff like that. Call for papers, is that still open? Are you guys still looking for people?
We actually closed that officially at midnight on Friday.
Okay,
We're trying to get ahead of the eight ball this year, and we actually have a brand new open source platform that is running the call for papers called Pretalks, and it's a floss software that we run that is managing all of the call for papers and getting the sessions in. And we are actually in the middle of reviewing them right now. And we should have a schedule published here in the next week or two.
okay, great. Yeah, because I know when I reached out to you and Jeremy Sands, who I'm hoping will join, I actually even reached out to JT because I know he helps out a little bit.
Yep.
And I was trying to get some people involved, so I'm glad you came. Now, full disclosure, I used to be a community manager with Southeast Linux Fest. I actually started going there in 2008 for OpenSUSE. I got invited to help out, and I did until I got my current job, and I'm still waiting. This shows you how slow the government is. I'm still waiting on getting approval so I can go help you guys. Uh, Believe it or not, there's a whole ethics thing that you have to fill out paperwork. So, Zach, I've known him for a while, and how did you get involved? Let's start with that. Let's go with a little bit of history there.
The first year that we were in Charlotte, I believe it was the Blake Hotel.
Oh,
The
yeah. I
um,
remember that. Yeah.
the Wi-Fi and internet was atrocious. We couldn't get it. It was a group of volunteers were struggling with the network. They couldn't get a internet provider in, and so um, for the next year, I volunteered my company to. At the time, I worked for a wireless ISP. And I was like, "We got this. I can do this." And so um, I started, did I think 2 years while I was with that company on behalf of the company. And then after I left the company, I just became the network schmuck and have been doing it ever since. I think the first year was 2014, maybe.
That would have been the second year we were at because I thought 2012 was the first year we were at the Blake.
I've only done it at the Sheraton.
Oh, the Sheraton.
That's over by the
Okay.
airport. That's the only venue I've done. And
Okay.
so
And that's where where
yep.
it's currently held. Okay, cool. Yeah, so and you've actually have had the honor because I know this month in a couple weeks is Southern California's Linux Expo, and you've helped
That's
them out as
actually
well.
next week. I'm not involved in it anymore. I did 2017. I helped with that, but
Okay.
I haven't been involved since.
Well, I've been to it twice, but once for OpenSUSE, actually taught some classes out there. It's impressive how big it is. And then the second year I went with Jeremy for Southeast Linux Fest. Sorry, I
Yep.
didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead,
And
sir.
2017, I think it was about 3,200 people.
Yeah, and that was out in not
Pasadena.
Pasadena. I was going to say Glendale, but that would have been wrong. Yeah, because the first year I went, it was like right next to the LA
Yep.
airport.
I think I was at one of those too. It might have been 2013. I went out there and it was next to the airport.
Well, hopefully you didn't do like me, realize that, oh crap, I missed my flight. luckily I got there. They were willing to change me, but I ran from the hotel to the airport because I was in such a frantic to get back home. But anyway, okay, well, cool. So I got the website up. Okay, and forgive me, I only have one monitor here. So this year we're going to be June 7th through the 9th at the Charlottetown, which is next to the airport. It's very easy to get to. Okay.
Exit 33 off of 85, if I remember right.
Okay. Do we know any like things that we could talk about? I mean, or that let's go ahead and talk about things we know that are planned tracks and stuff like that. So trying to get this out so we can get more people to come this year.
Yeah. So one of the things that has not been announced yet is we're actually doing a special premium training on Thursday.
Cool.
And so it's going to be more limited seating. That it is a paid option. But then on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we will do our normal tracks like we've done every other year. We have gotten almost 100 sessions submitted by almost 60 unique individuals. And we're going through them right now. There's some AI. There is a bunch of home lab stuff. So doing Home Assistant, doing Ceph, doing Kubernetes,
I'm
doing
actually trying
monitoring.
to, yeah, I'm actually trying to replace Big Iron with small board
Yep.
computers. That's my home labbing. So
Yep, and there's also going to be we got a lot of talks about database related stuff. So I think there might be several slots that are DBA focused. There's some programming language stuff. We gotten some presentations from some of the usual hitters. David Stokes. Um, he does the Open VPN guy. Chuck. I can't remember his last name. There's a bunch of familiar names, and I think there will also be a decent number of new names, some
cool.
new blood, some new ideas, some new presentations. So I think it'll be very good.
No, that's awesome because that was part of the reason I got involved. This year, like I said, I've submitted a talk. If it doesn't get accepted, I'm still going to try to go up there because my son who lives with me now, he's 19. I've always wanted to bring him. He's wanting to go in engineering. And I know there's been in the past people that bring like, I'm probably going to say it wrong, like a CCM machine. They're doing cutting there.
Yep.
There's been other people talking about stuff. So I want him to kind of mingle and talk with other tech people. And being in the past that I would always go for OpenSUSE, I got tied to a table, and then being a community manager was helping out.
Yep.
So kind of this year, I'd like to go there and just for once be a guest. I mean, I've not been a guest anytime I've been up there. So, if I do a talk, it'd be great because I'm planning to bring, I have like, I'm going to bring and show what a small home lab will look like to people so that they can see it
Nice.
during the talk. Yeah, I got Proxmox running on an Orange Pi, but that's cool. Now, one of the things that separates Southeast Linux Fest from other fests is we try to do other activities.
Yep.
Like, is the I don't want to say women's because they'll come after me and all that. Is the Yarn Fest still going to be going on?
The fiber tract.
Thank you. There you go.
I've not heard that. Last year it was more unofficial.
Okay.
I think that, and I think that will still go. I think that will still happen. One of the women that helps run the registration that everyone sees when they check in. When she's not helping that, she's often knitting with stuff.
That's Ben Cotton's wife, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't even remember her name. So We're also doing the lounge will be open. So one of the big ballrooms, like last year, will be devoted to as a lounge area. So that will be where the LAN party area will be set up. We keep tables with networks and power active all weekend long. We'll probably bring back. We got 4 machines that run Ubuntu that can play Team Fortress 2. And our
Oh, my
LAN,
son would love that. Yeah.
yep. Our LAN party is coalesces around games that run natively on Linux. And one of the two that are coming to my mind right now are Team Fortress 2 and Minecraft.
See, the Minecraft stuff, I love that. Lunar, I use Lunar client. And sorry, I heard my phone. My phone ding. I just want to make
That
sure.
might be mine. Let me just put it on vibrate.
Oh, no, that's fine. It's just I was going to check Teams real quick, and I can do that because the camera's not on. 1 second. I was just going to see if
But also in the lounge area is a lot picking table, so you can bring your own tools, and there's like 50 or 60 different locks. Some keyed, some combo, and you can try out your skills on locks that is legal to actually pick.
yeah, when B-side was there, I bought a lock kit from those guys, and I've been afraid to carry it with me because I've heard sometimes law enforcement don't like to see that on you. They don't understand that you have it for learning purposes. They kind of look at it funny. And plus, where I work, occasionally, they do bag search, so that would really not go too well. In fact, I don't carry my pocket knife anymore, so I get that. Okay, cool. What about is there going to be like is B side coming this year, or have they like officially broke off? And because I haven't heard any.
We co-hosted them for 1 year, but we have not done that. I think that might have been like 2018, 2019 timeframe that we
Okay,
co-hosted. And basically, we gave them a room, and they ran their own mini conference within ours. We're not doing that this year. All of our talks are by us. We're running 3 tracks, and they will all be recorded. The recordings are pushed out to YouTube within 3 days. We actually hit an API cap that limits us to the number of uploads per day. So it takes about 3 days after the event to get everything up. But we
okay.
also live stream everything. We partner with Alta Speed, which is Noah. Oh God, I don't know. I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I just call him the Juniper Broadcasting guy, but apparently
He's
that no longer exists.
Yeah, yeah. He hasn't been with Juniper for a while, but he runs the live streaming, and he will do his commentary too. But we also, through our website, we have a remote attendee option that allows basically attendees to watch the streams in real time live. Um,
Okay.
and we're doing all of that with open source, and all the automation is open source, and it's all done in house.
Well, if you're using OBS on Linux, I hope you have better luck with it because believe it or not, I have it on an Intel device. It works. And then I have it on an Orange Pi device, which I was like, okay, let's see if I can run it on ARM. And it's missing some of the key features that unfortunately are on the Windows and Mac side, like filters and things like that. It works, but there are some things that are lacking. So hey, let's do this
Yeah.
after this chat. Give me those URLs, and I'll post it in the description for this video so that people, when they're watching it down the road, they can go and attend. I'll also put The registration, because registration's free, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I don't. Registration has not quite opened yet. The hotel
Okay.
slot, the hotel room block is open. It is filling up. We are adding more rooms as needed. The more rooms that we can book through the block, the more cooperative the hotel is with our more unusual requests that we normally come through with.
Okay. That's good to know because I was going to ask because I'm actually going to try to get a room for one night. I'm like I said, I'm coming up for Friday and staying Saturday. Unfortunately, with work and all that, I may have to, we're working on several projects that, Congress keeps pushing dates on us. So I may have to be back at work on Monday, but that's good to know. Okay. So hold on. Since you mentioned that, when are the blocks officially closing so that people know that, hey, I don't have time. I need to go get my room.
Um, Typically, about 30 days out, they will sell out, and we cannot add more.
30 days out. So, guys, you got until May, I would say May 9th or okay,
Or early May, yes.
or early May. All right, guys. That's good to know. All right. Now, what about I I know this is for a lot of people it's a controversial thing that um you know self has done, and the reason I say that is because you know where people lean. Geeks with guns, is that going to happen this year like it's happened in the past, or is that on hiatus? I haven't seen things.
It is not my forte, but I
Okay.
do believe it will happen again.
Okay, it's fair to ask because like I said, some people like it and some people don't. Like
I've
I
been
said.
I've been fairly vocal with my disdain for for that as an add-on, but that is my personal opinion.
All right. Yeah, because like I said, unlike a lot of the other Linux Fest, well, I really can't say that. I went to Texas Linux Fest. I've been to Scale. I've not never been to Northwest, because they're the other ones. But
I spoke out of Ohio. Ohio Linux Fest, their first event post COVID.
okay,
I was actually one of the speakers.
yeah, I thought about asking Joel or Linus. I'm friends with them on Facebook as well because it would, they've been to the Southeast Linux Fest, but I wanted more you guys, you know, to be on here because, like I said, this has been the big one I helped with,
Yep.
and believe it or not, one of the reasons that I'm wanting to help promote this years ago, and you were probably uh, in middle school or high school because I know you're a lot younger than me, but in 1999, there was a huge Linux show at the Cobb Galleria called the Atlantic Linux Showcase, and it was co-sponsored by um, Usenik, okay,
Hmm.
which was really cool. I actually got to meet John, Mad Dog Hall, who has been at our at the Southeast Linux Fest. He was actually running a booth for GNOME. Almost a decade later, and this is where I met some of the folks from Ubuntu. There was the Atlanta Linux Festival, which was in the IBM building. I attended, sorry, that in the building. And believe it or not, that's where I met Jeremy, Dave Yates, um, I forget the other Dave. He's part of the
Stokes.
Apache. No, um, he's part of the Apache Cloud. You know, Cloud Stack. Okay, he does a lot of work with him. But that Dave, and then you know, that's when I was my first time ever doing OpenSUSE, and I got invited to it, which was pretty cool. But those have died.
Yep.
And there was another one, and the reason I'm bringing this up so folks understand why this is important. right before COVID. I want to say it was 2019. Some organization tried to come into Atlanta and they were going to do a paid festival. Obviously, it didn't do too well because it would still be around. Okay. In fact, you mentioned Stokes. When he was still working for MySQL, he actually went there and gave a talk, and there were some other people. But like I said, that was a real big one. But you would think Atlanta being a hub, an
Yep.
IT hub, we got Microsoft, we got Google, there would be a big Linux Fest or Expo here, but there's not. I mean,
Yep.
that's what's so impressive about Southeast Linux Fest because it didn't start in Charlotte.
Started in the upstate of South Carolina.
Yep. You could you pronounce the city's name? You're talking about pronunciation.
So the very first year it was at Clemson University, on campus, and it way too many people came to it for the Clemson facility, and so then it did 2 years at Spartanburg, South Carolina,
I think I was at both of those. So
which is
yeah.
actually now where I live. And
Okay.
then the rest of the years has always been up in Charlotte. I think it was 2 years at the Blake Hotel, and
Yep.
then every other year has been at the Sheraton Charlotte Airport Hotel.
Yeah, which was it? It was probably the first year at the Blake, or maybe it was the second. If you didn't go to that one, be thankful because they were doing the Democratic
National Convention was
coming.
shortly after. Yep.
Yeah, and so they were remodeling all the rooms. So there were tons of toilets, brand new toilets out in the hallway, and we were fighting with them to get like network connectivity because we paid for like high speed. I mean, the Blake was nice because the first year we did with Drupal, and that was pretty cool. I mean, that's another thing that's been very cool about Southeast Linux Fest that we've worked with others. But it was okay. We had some spaces, we had rooms, but the whole fact that they were remodeling, it was not the best. Charlotte has been a much better experience. It's got a number of rooms, and like I said, the last year I was up there, there was a young lady who kept making ice cream with like nitrogen, which I thought was cool.
That hasn't been officially announced, but that might be back this year.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we've done stuff with it's bar something. I'm getting old. But anyway, it's like a Linux Fest, but you show up, you put your stuff up there, and they talk about it. They were a lot with us, so it's been cool. So it's been, like I said, B-side, the bar folks, Drupal, and all that. Are there any like musical guests? The reason I bring that up is because something that's really cool that a lot of people I've never seen self talk about it, but the whole fact that the one of the things that we've done at self is we've had musical guests like dual core.
Yep, they
And
came to the Blake and they played in the bar at the Blake.
and MC front load or
Dualcore was the only one I remembered. So
I'm gonna kill myself for this, but it's MC fronts a lot. All I know is it was the first time I got to ever hear the term geek rap, and it was pretty cool.
I don't think there's anything officially planned for that this year.
Okay, well, You have to ask because,
Yep.
like I said, we've had it in the past. It'd be kind of cool to see some other people's do that. Now, uh, what if someone wanted to? Because this costs a lot, okay? And
Hmm.
yeah, I know we're never supposed to talk about money and things like that. But let's say I'm out there, I keep mentioning OpenSUSE. We've had a table. I know last year there was a different group there. If an OS or an open source project or a corporation wanted to sponsor, can they? I mean, do you guys?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely. On the page there is information on how to connect with our sponsor people about we have different tiers. Um, I think we have I think they start at 500. We also do free tables to nonprofits and EDUs. Um,
okay,
and then paid tables starting, I think, at 500.
okay, cool.
And
All
then
right.
there's the default attendee is free. Um, if you want T-shirts or other options, there is some paid options, and there's also it's called the supporting attendee option, where you voluntarily pay more than the free price and be able to be able to help the event. It also does help booking rooms under our block because we get credit for those with the hotel. And so that can help in our negotiations with the hotel over the use of the event space.
Very cool. Yeah, because I see like Rocky Linux is going to be there,
Yep.
unless that's from last year.
Um,
And
that current list of sponsors is from last year,
okay,
but there are quite a few Rocky Linux talks that have been submitted, and I think more than one will be accepted.
that's awesome because unfortunately, I'm not going to say anything negative. I don't want to hurt self, but from the tech triangle that's near that area, a certain company that got bought out, they've changed, and I don't like dealing with them anymore. Uh, so
Do you want to hear about the tech stack
sure,
and the network that we do? So we get a lot of run over the hotel. We run our own Ethernet. We run our own fiber. All switches are linked at least 10 gig. We're going to be doing 40 gig this year. Um, we again, it's all fiber that we run. We own. There's a lot of fiber and Ethernet that we have placed in the ceiling of the event space that we just reuse every year. We bring in our own internet connection. This year it'll be a AT&T Uverse, which will be 1 gig symmetrical. We had it for the first time last year when it became available. Up until that point, we'd always used charter coax modems, so we were significantly limited on the upload. And so we would generally max out the upload every event. But this year with a gig, that won't be nearly as much of a concern. We run all services on site. I bring it's a half rack of equipment, and it's a 4 node Proxmox cluster with the storage back end being Ceph. And then for bulk data, I also use a Moose FS, which is a distributed file system. Um,
know it quite well. Yep.
yep, yeah, Moose is great, especially on small boards. And For the recording, the automation system is Node-RED, backed up by the database is a MariaDB, which holds all of the speaker names, session descriptions, rooms, what times it starts and stops, and the automation system will basically do database lookups and fire off different events. For recording, we use OBS running on Ubuntu. We have HP small form factor desktops, i7 desktops that does the recording, and it does the Intel QuickSync. And we got these in 2017 used. There was a local county local to me that decommissioned them, and so we picked them up for like $100 a pop back
That
then,
that's
and
not bad.
yeah, I mean, they run great. They got like 8 gigs of RAM. They got the Intel i7. I don't remember exactly which generation it was, but one of the it had native USB 3, and for its price, and when we picked it up, again, we picked it up, pushing 6 years ago now. Our HDMI capture devices are the Magwell devices, so they need native USB 3. So that's how we capture the input. And then we do a USB camera that will capture the speaker. And then for the audio, we have starts with a B, like Badginger audio capture device, which captures off of the mix board. And then the whole recording equipment and audio equipment for the room sits in a Harbor Freight rifle Pelican knockoff case. Um, so it's all nicely cable managed. Last year it wasn't. The cabling was rough, but this year I'm redoing those cases, and everything is cable managed. Everything is both ends of the cable are labeled with a unique number, so that if you have one end of the cable, you can go to the other end and find it. Um, so the automation system will handle all of the recording. It also pushes out to YouTube, and we also do Peering DB and Internet Archive. We do all three simultaneously. They all three get uploaded, and we started doing very fast turnaround. So it's roughly 3 days. It's published in all three places.
Oh, that's awesome. I know setting up the rooms it's tasking because I've remember helping out and 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, sleeping on a bench because we finally got the rooms, only to have to be back up, around 8 because registration starts on Friday. But no,
Yep.
we got it down.
It's it's
Ah,
it's going a lot better this year, or it did last year. I think I went to bed about midnight the night before, so that I was fine with that. Something else that we do is we have little vote boxes, which are Node MCU ESP8266s that are running ESP Home, and they record votes. So it's a simple if you ever been to IKEA, you've seen how they have a very similar system of um, it is a positive, a neutral, and a negative, and there's little face emojis for that, and there's different colors, and so as people walk out, they can just hit the button that they associate with that session. Um,
cool.
and that's those votes are recorded over MQTT that is sent over Wi-Fi to Node-RED to be recorded in the database.
It's funny you mentioned Node-RED. The one project that I told you that I'm probably going to have to be back and working on is the competitor, and it's called Mindex. And I keep wishing we would use Node-RED. Node-RED looks so much better. But anyway, that's cool. I told Jeremy last year, and he told me to get with you. I've been trying to track down. I don't have any here. The only thing I've gotten so far, but this is overkill, and that's not it. Um, I wanted to see if we could get some 10-inch, LCDs with inks that we could, use like Pi Zeros, so that instead of us printing paper, we put these little
We
boards.
have a solution for that, and I didn't talk about that yet. So
Okay,
we we had previously tried to co-opt the displays that the hotel already has built in. Previously, they were VGA devices, and then COVID happened. And over COVID, they swapped all the displays out. And now it's much more proprietary. And so this, we did it last year. We had two 55-inch screens,
Okay.
and they are hooked up to a Pi Zero, and the automation system will print out an HTML page that those screens refresh. This year, we are having three 55-inch screens, which will sit outside of each room, and then
That's big.
a 65-inch or 75 that will sit kind of in the middle and give an overview of all three sessions at the same time.
Yeah. See, this is a 7-inch that I've been playing around with sweet potato that I was trying to do something like that. Because I figure if we had something like that and hooked it up to speakers, we could get the sponsors maybe to have recordings, or, used to they would get Alan Hicks to do commercials and you could have it play in between and then,
Yep.
get some little advertisement. But no, that's awesome. Cool. Cause like I said, I've seen the ink ones, like if you go to grocery stores, so instead of them printing up the weekly things, they'll flash the little pie and the price changes, and it's kind of weird when you're there and they're updating it and
So
suddenly the price.
I used to work at a company that did integrations for point of sale and grocery stores, and actually how the vast majority of those work is they receive their commands over IR. So the same thing television, older television remotes are using, that's what they're using. They are, and they will last like years on a single battery.
That's impressive, really is.
Yeah.
And then
And the last piece of the automation that I didn't touch on is um, the automation system is unforgiving as far as start and stop times of sessions. It does not care if a speaker is actually finished. It stops on time, regardless of where the speaker is. So, and I personally did not want to try to build in additional complexity into the system to accommodate for speakers that run over. And so we have a light system. It again is based on a Node MCU ESP8266, and it's got three lights. It's got a red.
whoa, it's 4 lights.
It's
Sorry,
got a light.
that was a Star Trek reference.
Oh, it's got three lights that poke out the front that are connected to the header. It's a red, a green, and a yellow. And the automation system will flash or solid the the lights based on what it's doing. So when it's red, it's not recording. That's pretty obvious. When it's green, it is recording. And then when yellow is flashing of either the start of the recording, because we give a 1 minute notice, and then yellow starts flashing when we give a 5 minute notice before it ends.
Okay, that's cool. Now, so we've talked about speakers and we've talked about other things. One of the things that was kind of cool, I don't know if you guys are still allowed to do it, and I don't know if we should mention it, but what about craft beers? There's one of the guys I like to watch, and I'm not trying to promote his website. He's out of Oregon, Craft Computer. He always, ends his talks with craft beers. And there were a few years, at the Charlotte, we have Saturday night. Everybody brings in their beer from their region and shares it. Is that still going to be a thing?
So that was done last year.
Okay.
And I believe it will be done this year. I just don't know the rules and policies yet.
Yeah. See that? Oh, hey, Jason. Believe it or not, we have some people that are responding on YouTube. Mark Umer, and forgive me if I say your name wrong. Okay, he's planning to go. He's part of the Atlanta Linux enthusiasts. A Jason Santan Sierra. And forgive me, guys, I'm dyslexic. I'm not very.
You're braver
But,
than me,
well,
even
I
trying to pronounce it. I am terrible at pronunciation.
well, I was always told to sound it out. So, but on the screen, guys, while I've been talking with Zach Underwood about the Southeast Linux Fest, I went ahead and shared out the rates. And right now, I would recommend if you wanted to go ahead and book because they're saying the starting price is 122, and that is phenomenal because there are other places you go and you couldn't get a room at that price. Okay.
Yeah, it's crept up a little bit, with over the years, but it not much. I think at one point for a long time it was 100 a night. So it's crept up a little bit. Welcome to the economy, but it's still very reasonable.
Okay. So continuing with the unusual things that we do at the Southeast Linux Fest. I should have done it years ago, but I've never had the cash. Is the Linux testing going to be going on? Normally, I know the folks from
LPI.
BSD LPI they normally are there and they do the testing on Sundays. Are they going to be there this year?
We haven't done that in a few years. They are doing the amateur radio ham testing.
Thank you. That's
Um,
where I was going to go next, but
all
appreciate it.
levels, all levels will be given the exams for on site. All levels will be tested, and when you were speaking about something unusual that we do is um, two of the things that really come to my mind is that shows the leniency that we can get with the hotel is we actually power off the access points that the hotel has in the event space. With their permission, I go in to their Cisco switch and I start pulling Ethernets out of ports and powering down access points so that my Wi-Fi network doesn't have their interference. And the other way we get two other ways that we get leeway is we bring in for lunch, typically on Friday and Saturday. We will bring in some food trucks. Last year there was an Asian truck, really great fried rice. Then there was a American truck, so they had like the hot dogs, hamburgers, and then there was a dessert truck. And we are planning to do that again this year. So lunch is really great food truck. And then speaking of the hams, the hotel allows them to put antennas on the roof to get better coverage.
I never knew that.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
When you're at the food trucks, turn around and look behind you and look on top of the roof, and
Well,
you will see temporary ham antennas put up there.
so the food trucks, I remember the first year they showed up, and that was awesome because unfortunately, I don't want to speak ill of the Sheraton, but the food that they were offering to sell us was it was not good. I remember everybody was like getting sandwiches, and then suddenly people were doing like, "Hey, we're thinking about ordering, 20 or 30 pizzas from, Little Caesars because that's a better selection than what's going on." And I'm thinking, if you guys are ordering from Little Caesar, the food's pretty bad. And I remember one of the trucks because it was the first time I ever got to try cheese curds.
Is that the
And
Haagen Dog?
yeah,
They
yeah,
they were
that
there last year,
it
and
was
and they should be back there this year.
it was awesome because my heritage, I'm half Scottish, half Norwegian, but there's a lot of stuff on the Norwegian side I've never eaten, and fried cheese curds is one of them. I got to finally eat those when I was there, and it's not bad. And occasionally Zaxby's will have it, so it's pretty cool. But no, the food trucks is pretty awesome. I know that thanks about the bringing up the hams radio. That's another thing that a lot of people probably don't associate with Linux is the number of people that work with Linux, like um, Linus. I know he has not Linus, Joel from the the Linux Tech Show. He has a nice setup. One of the photographers, I am Bug, he always has like a little radio on the back on his back. So it was always impressive to see these guys with carrying the radios around, and it was it was something I never would associate it. Okay, I get like me, I'm into retro gaming, and I know one year I brought up a little box that I had built. I keep hoping I could bring some cabinets up because I figure the kids would love that. Because there's been a few years parents have brought their kids, and the kids have been pretty
There was
impressed.
on multiple occasions there was 5 or 6 kids playing Minecraft in the LAN party area.
God, if I brought my daughter, she would love it. Because yeah, believe it or not, I got a video recording of her on my Orange Pi running Android, and we were playing Minecraft, and it played quite well. The Lunar version, it's good, but it could be better, you know. But that'd be awesome. So, how heavy? Because you mentioned AI, and one of the things I'm seeing is the market is shifting. People are being let go because of AI. Do you think people are going to be open to the AI talks, or do you think people are going to be a little bit you know standoffish because it seems to be like taking away people's jobs?
So I know on the training one, JT's doing it, and that will be on Thursday, and it will be. My understanding of the talk is it's doing local on-site AI. So, and he's going to give a demo of doing it on your own hardware. I presume running all on Linux.
Okay.
I mean, I on a personal front, I think that regulators are going to have to try to get ahead of this before it gets ugly, and I think it will get ugly if nothing is done. Um,
Well, speaking AI is real big. What about cloud in like AWS? Are you guys gonna
we, we,
do you,
we, we have some presentations about doing Kubernetes. Certainly, Kubernetes can be considered the cloud mentality. Whether you run Kubernetes on-prem or in Google, the fundamentals are the same. Um,
well, I'll disagree with that. It's just because Kubernetes it's nice, but there's no set standards. Rancher Kubernetes is not the same as OpenShift's Kubernetes. So I wish that's one area I'm hoping down the road that they finally come up with like set standards, kind of like with virtualization. Virtualization, you mentioned Proxmox, that's
yep.
libvirt. Now with VMware going away, I see a lot of people going to that, or
Small shops don't really have much of a choice. It's
well,
it's it's
XPCNG, that which is essentially Citrix. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that
yeah.
was
I just you never hear anyone talking about that one. But yes, there's that one. There's Proxmox. There's Hyper-V, and then there's like Nutanix.
Open ZV, which is another one, an old timer that's been out there for a long time. QM. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to
The,
see where.
the one I keep hearing people recommend for small shops is this could be like your under 20 physical hosts is Proxmox. Certain, and that's what I run.
Dude, I have, believe it or not, here I'll show you something real quick. I'm trying to get two more so I can set up a cluster, but This is a small board. It's an Intel. It looks very alien. I'm running Proxmox on it, and I'm using. I'm not running virtual machines. I'm doing all containers, and I'm doing gaming containers. You're talking about Linux. I have a Bedrock and a Minecraft, and it's working flawless. And this thing only has 8 gigs of memory. But
Well,
again, that's Intel. And then I have 2 big iron machines, like a lot of people that I'm running stuff on. But you can't carry those. That's part of the reason I'm hoping in the future that ARM will pick up. Well, one more.
yeah, I don't travel light for the event. I will have a Suburban and a 16-foot car hauler trailer, slap full of equipment. We bring thousands of pounds of equipment, like just an Ethernet. We bring over 7,000 feet of Ethernet.
Well, yeah, I know. I've helped unload it, but yeah, Proxmox, like I said, I'm waiting to see that adapt it. We'll see. A lot of people online, like I said, that's where the XPCNG keeps coming up with the Citrix Zen, which is sad because I remember when Citrix Zen was free, like EXI,
Yep.
they got bought out. First thing they killed was the free version, so it's like history's repeating itself. So we'll see what goes on with that. Um, you know, I'm you do a lot of stuff with networking, so I might, if I do show up, I may bug you about Open WTR because it seems impressive, but man, the learning curve is
Hmm.
tough on that one. And it'd be nice if someone comes out with like an easier version. In fact, I've been bugging the Banana Pi folks because they release these beautiful router boards,
Yep. But they don't do
and
cases.
uh, actually,
Or is that changed? Because that's my I've always had a beef with these small board manufacturers. Is they will make some amazing boards, no cases, no
no,
cases.
they make awesome cases now. Okay,
Okay, that's gotten better because some of the cases have, it's you made a great board, but you didn't throw it in a case. I'll pay extra for a case. I don't want to. I don't. I personally don't. I don't do 3D printing. I don't do metal work. Sell me a case that works with that board. Even if it's $50, I will pay it.
oh no, so I have a Banana Pi R3 running Open WRT, and the case that I had, they gave me the board to test out, but I had to buy all the accessory, which seemed fair. And dude, we're speaking on that network right now. Okay. It's been in a case. My kids call it the octopus because it has 8 antenna, 2.4 gigahertz, and the other 4 or 5 gigahertz, and it's been flawless. And then it's a toy. I bought myself the Mini R3, and it came in a great case. But the case design, they actually took my recommendation, which I was surprised because you're talking about cases. They came out with a beautiful metallic case, but they didn't do anything for airflow. So it overheated, and I sent them a picture of how I fixed it with, believe it or not, with one of these, and it's running. I'm a weirdo. How many guys? Well, you probably do or don't, but how many guys with 5 static IPs and 4 VLANs in their house? Okay, that's
Yep.
me because going to these things, these expos, I've learned a lot of stuff. Over the years, I remember when the guy with the tuba who kept harping that IPv6 is coming. Well, dude, it's been 12 years and everybody's still using IPv4.
We don't. We dual stack everything.
Okay. Yeah. Say one day I need to learn that, but all that. All right. So
The
we're
the
almost.
the last couple things is we did last year. We're going to do it again. We have a volunteer raffle that we get some things in donation this year. I'll be putting up a substantial amount of server and network hardware. So if you volunteer, you get entered in that raffle. And the equipment is free to go to a new address. And the last thing is I am a gluttony for punishment, and I have volunteered to run the LAN party at MumuCon. So
Wow. That's here in
yes,
Atlanta,
yes,
right?
yep,
Okay.
it's at the Georgia World Congress Center.
That's in
Open,
May, right?
yeah, it's in May. It's like 3 weeks before Self, and it's in a partnership between Skulls and LandFest to run a charity auction or charity land where all proceeds go to Make a Wish.
Oh,
And
awesome.
we'll have about 120 seats at the event, and MumuCon as a whole, I think they're talking about 50 or 60,000 attendees.
It's almost as big as
Dragon Con.
yeah, Dragon Con. So
And
yeah,
this year it'll be also unique. It's 3 days long because it goes into Memorial Day.
yeah. I mean that's Dragon. Believe it or not, when I first moved to Atlanta, uh, it was it was like the first year I got to go to Dragon Con. I got in for free because they were looking for game masters, and I said, "Hey, I'll run." They didn't want D&D because they had too many DMs,
It's an
but
oversaturated market.
yeah, and so I said, "Okay, I'll do Gamma World, Boot Hill, and Call of Cthulhu." And they're like, "You're in," and I was like, "Cool," But all right, well, okay, well, like I said, we're coming up on close to the hour. I really do appreciate you coming on. Guys, I'm going to get information from Zach and other people, and this video will be posted and we'll share it out. Right now, believe it or not, we've been live streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube because I really wanted to get this message out to people. And I appreciate you, Zach, coming on. I hope this helps out with things. I'm glad that you guys got users. Believe it or not, we've had a couple people in chat. Jason's from the Northeast. There used to be a Northeast Linux Fest, and I
Yeah,
want to say,
I remember there's something about them having a big lobster fest, or they served a bunch of lobster.
huh? Well, I just know the one guy who ran it. He actually came and spoke um at Southeast Linux. He's a phenomenal guy. He's blind and he actually does. He was doing audio casts way before anybody. I mean, part of the reason I started doing all this stuff was I wanted to share my knowledge with the small board computers and plus be able to do what I used to do itself. And I'm hoping that this will help you guys. But um, guys, please go. Charlotte, the Southeast Linux Fest is June 7th through the 9th.
Yep.
Okay. Um, I'm planning, like I said, to be there Friday and Saturday, one way or the other. Again, guys, it's free. Some of the events and stuff that they do offer that's not a part of it does cost. If they do the fiber channel, if your significant other, or hell, if you um, like to do knitting, they've had knitting things there. It was pretty cool. The young lady who does the ice cream, she's doing kind of like a teaching course because I forgot what her stuff was, but she had like the one corner where they were doing a lot of stuff that was pretty cool.
There's some stuff to be announced around that.
Okay. Keep going to the web page. Okay. Um you know, and go in, you know. Oh, the last thing, before we let go. When is Birds of the Feather? Because that, I think, for all you guys, if you've never been to a Linux Fest, okay, or Expo, and you want to get together and let's say, we were talking about Kubernetes earlier, but let's say you have an unusual thing that you want to discuss. You could do, you can go to a board, sign up that let's talk about this. And the reason it's called Birds of a Feather is you and other like people that want to talk about that subject can go to a room and talk to that. Now, that's usually after the main speakers of the day, correct? And
It actually varies.
okay,
It typically the birds of feather are more niche topics that are more of a group discussion. So typically there could be 5 to 10 people that really have a very specific subject that they all want to nerd out on, and so they'll write it on the board. Someone will write on the board that topic, location, and time, and basically show up. And it's typically not a scheduled presentation or an agenda, just all kind of sitting around talking about whatever nerd topic you want to.
all righty. Well, Zach, thanks for coming on. I do appreciate it. Okay,
Yep.
and
Thank you for
good
having
luck.
me.
Not a problem. Like I said, if this helps you guys, and if we need to do another one between now and June, just ping me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I try to do live events Sunday night. It's a cool way of relaxing and sharing tech, and I do live videos, and I don't mind doing it. As you can see, I had this thing that was set up easy where I could share the screen and we could talk, and I can get 4 of us on here at a time. So
Nice.
but oh, and by the way, Zach, I couldn't say this to you. I always like to tell people stuff in person, but congratulations on parenthood. It's awesome what you're doing. My mom uh, grew up in foster homes, and what you're doing to adopt 2 kids, it's awesome, and congratulations
Well,
on
thank
that.
you. Yeah, the for everyone who doesn't know, we fostered and then adopted pair of sisters, and at the time they were 15 and 17 years old.
I mean, no, that's awesome because I used to joke with my mom. It's like, for someone who's Norwegian, why aren't you cooking, luckfish and all the things? She goes, my foster mom was Italian, and my mother could cook awesome Italian food. So fostering, it's a great way to help kids. So, no, congrats on that. So, guys, we're going to end it here. And thanks for all those who check it out. This will be live, and I'm going to get details from Zach and the rest of the folks. And you know, keep a please go to the Southeast Linux Fest .org page. Do not look up self.
The
There's
other self.
Yeah, there's an interesting story. We won't go there. We'll try to keep.
It's a not safe for work event that usually takes place at the same time as
Yes,
our event in Atlanta, and it will have some interesting crossover hash collision or tag Twitter tag collisions.
yes, and I just wanted to bring that up. All right, thanks a lot, and we'll hopefully see you in June.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem.
Bye.